Hey guys, tell me honestly, have you ever truly learned from your mistakes?
Whether you and I learn from our mistakes or not, Tony Stark certainly does. There is hardly anything in his life from which he hasn't learned. And not only that, but he has also improved upon them, making himself an even bigger and more brilliant genius. So, without wasting any time, let's get started.
Let's begin with Iron Man 1, when Tony Stark gets stranded in Afghanistan with no way to return home. To make sure neither he nor any of his teammates ever face such a situation again, he improved his suits by adding GPS tracking. We first saw this in Spider-Man: Homecoming, when Peter discovers that his suit has GPS tracking. Next is the icing problem from the same movie. His suit would freeze at high altitudes. He fixed this issue by using a new gold titanium alloy with a much lower freezing point. The third point comes from Iron Man 2, when Tony has to wait a long time for his Mark V armor while fighting Whiplash. He solved this issue first with the Mark VII armor in the Avengers, which could be controlled with a bracelet and summoned remotely. Later, he took it even further by integrating nanotechnology into his arc reactor, essentially making himself a walking Iron Man suit. The next upgrade also comes from the Avengers, when Thor blasts him with lightning. Tony's suit absorbs the power, but has no way to use it. He later fixes this with the Mark 85 armor in Endgame, adding a lightning refocuser that also converts it into a powerful blast, which he uses against Thanos. Another significant upgrade came after the final battle in the Avengers, when Tony nearly dies carrying the missile into space. To prevent such a scenario again, he created the Mark 42 armor, which we saw in Iron Man 3. This suit had an autonomous propulsion system, allowing Tony to not only control it remotely, but also use its individual parts separately.
Then, after seeing the immense destruction caused by the Chitauri invasion in the Avengers, Tony realized that even the combined strength of the Avengers was sometimes not enough to protect civilians and prevent property damage. In response, he created his own army, the Iron Legion, which we saw in Iron Man 3. However, even this wasn't enough, so he tried to improve upon it in Avengers: Age of Ultron by creating Ultron. But, as we all know, that plan backfired horribly. Number 7 isn't a mistake, but rather a contingency plan. In the Avengers, Tony realizes just how powerful and uncontrollable the Hulk can be. He predicts that one day, the Hulk might turn against them, so he builds the Hulkbuster suit. This suit not only showcases Tony's genius, but also highlights his ability to think ahead.
Next, after seeing that his usual blasts were ineffective against Aldrich Killian and even the Hulk, Tony upgraded his nanosuits with large external blasters capable of dealing greater damage. Moving on to Iron Man 3 again, there was a moment when Tony's suit ran out of power, leaving him freezing in the cold. He later fixed this issue in Spider-Man: Homecoming, where Spider-Man's suit includes an instant heating system to prevent freezing after getting wet. Another Iron Man 3 moment was when Aldrich Killian captured Tony, forcing him to wait for his suit to arrive. To avoid being defenseless again, Tony later built a nanoblaster into his watch, as seen in Civil War. In Iron Man 3, his home is attacked, and Pepper Potts barely survives. This led Tony to create a special suit for her, which she eventually wears in Endgame as the rescue armor. Another critical change came when Tony realized that keeping himself airborne required using both his hands and feet, making him vulnerable. He fixed this by adding flight stabilizers in his nanotech suits, allowing him better control in the air while keeping his hands and feet free for combat. Next, in Civil War, after War Machine is badly injured when Vision's blast accidentally hits him, Tony realizes the importance of safety features. That's why he later added a parachute to Spider-Man's Iron Spider suit. Following that, in the final battle of Civil War, Tony's suit's aiming system fails, forcing him to manually aim his missiles. He later improves on this by adding auto-aiming missiles in his nanotech suit, which only require thought to be fired. Another smart upgrade was made after Homecoming, when Tony realized that while Peter was strong, he sometimes needed additional stability. That's why he added 4 mechanical arms to the Iron Spider suit, which Peter used effectively in Infinity War and Endgame. In Civil War, during his hand-to-hand fight with Captain America, Tony struggles against Cap's combat skills. To prepare for such situations in the future, he adds close combat upgrades to his Mark 50 suit, including a battering ram, shields, a nanotech blade, and even a sword. He put these to good use against Thanos in Infinity War. Finally, we have the most amazing upgrade. In Infinity War, the heroes struggle to remove the Infinity Gauntlet from Thanos' hand. Learning from this, Tony improves the nano relocation feature in his Mark 85 suit, allowing him to take the Infinity Stones from Thanos' gauntlet without him noticing. This was a game changer. So, guys, these were some of the ways Tony Stark learned from his experiences and improved himself over time. If you think I've also improved my content, please like this video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.